Okay, today I have Michael Metting, VP and General Manager of McEwen Copper.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk today.
Sure, welcome, Michael.
It's Sean.
So tell me about your background.
So I'm German. I lived in the US in '98, left Germany in 2001, moved to Chile, Switzerland first, then Chile, then Argentina, Uruguay, Cuba, and now Canada. And I'm back managing a project in Argentina.
Excellent. So how many years total?
So I'm out of Germany about 22, 23 years now.
Excellent. Why did you choose to work with this company?
So now I work for McEwen Copper. When I was looking for a new opportunity, I saw that as part of McEwen Mining, there was this huge jewel that it was waiting for being developed. And it is in the province where I was living about 10 years of my life, in San Juan in Argentina. So I talked with the CEO, Rob McEwen, and said, hey, I really would like to be responsible for your copper business unit. I said, why do you want to do that? I said, well, because I think we can actually push forward the development of this project. And I know my way around, I know the people, I know how to get things done in Argentina, I know the politicians, I know to get things done in Buenos Aires. So I think it was a good fit at the time, and I got the offer.
Excellent. Okay, so let's get into the company. Talk about the mission, the greatest strengths, maybe competitive advantage.
Yeah. So we want to produce green copper. We have two assets. One is the top 10 Los Azules project located in San Juan, Argentina. It's top 10 in terms of resource size, as ranked by Mining Intelligence from 2022. By then, we have done a mineral resource update, mineral resource estimate update, and now we are about 27.6% high in terms of contained metal. So next year we should be well ranked as well. And then we have the 𝐈𝐻𝐼𝐜 properties in Nevada in the US, in the Battle Mountain Cortez Trend. So we have two interesting assets: the advanced stage Los Azules project and the 𝐈𝐻𝐼𝐜 and early exploration plan. The good thing about us is that we want to build our mine from the beginning around regenerative principles. We have hired a very prominent architect that is the founder of the Green Living Building Alliance to help us to come up with solutions that can help shift paradigms in the mining industry. You know, when you live today in a camp, in remote locations, it's usually like a 2-star ski resort. We would like to build something that can be legacy for the place. We want to build a mine that minimizes environmental impact. We want to build a mine that minimizes water consumption, energy consumption, that has a very, very low CO2 footprint. In fact, we have a commitment to be carbon neutral by 2038.
Excellent. I think you mentioned before your copper is a little bit different. It requires no refinement, correct?
So there are a couple of projects in Argentina. Argentina has become relatively more attractive as compared to Chile and Peru recently. And the majority of the copper projects in Argentina, they produce concentrate. They will produce concentrate in the future. We decided to go for flow sheet using heat bleaching, solution extraction, and electrowinning. That brings down water consumption to about 1/6 to 1/8 energy consumption, and you produce something that is directly industrializable in Argentina. Argentina is an industrialized country, produces about 500,000 cars per year, and can make big use of copper going forward and being part of the green energy transition.
Interesting. Okay, so you already talked about a couple properties. How many do you have total, and where are they?
So we have two properties, one in San Juan, Argentina, and the other in the US. The San Juan property is located in the province of San Juan. San Juan has about 880,000 inhabitants. Is home to projects such as Filo, José María, Veladero, Pascualama, Altar, El Pachón from Glencore. So out of the, I would say, 8 important copper projects in Argentina, 6 are located in the province of San Juan. This talks a little bit about the attractiveness of San Juan for mining projects.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, let's get into the team. The distinctions about them and how maybe they have more skin in the game.
So In my time in Barrick, I worked 7 years as CFO for Barrick in Argentina, actually in the province where our project is located. What I saw is that to be able to navigate the sometimes turbulent times in Argentina, you have to have a very committed team. You need to have a team in place that is able to manage the ups and downs of Argentina. So out of our 10 people management team, 7 are Argentines. Each of them has more than 15 years experience in exploration, construction, operations of Tier 1 or Tier 2 assets in Argentina, the majority of which in San Juan. So I think that is one of the big factors. When I brought the project director into the project, I asked him to please move to San Juan with his wife. Yeah? And the deal is that he's going to be fluent by the end of his assignment. Let's see how that goes. But it's important to be embedded into the communities. Yeah? You need to understand what are the needs and how can you help support progress, growth, and development.
So the experience runs deep within the country. If you add up all the years, it's quite a few years. A couple hundred with everybody.
So we have a lot over 220 years of mining experience in Tier 1 and Tier 2 operations in the management team.
Excellent. Okay, so you got some great strengths. Let's get into potential weaknesses and challenges that you guys are having and how you're addressing them.
So I would say the typical challenges are the Argentina challenges. Yeah? Argentina, as compared to Chile and Peru, mostly has economic problems. They are much easier to solve, but you have to live at the moment with inflation that is way above 100%. So you need to be very agile when it comes to contract management, when it comes to personnel management, salary adjustments. You need to manage very well your treasury. Yeah. So those are challenges that are different than in other jurisdictions. And that's why it's so important to have people who know their ways around.
Interesting. Did you say 100%?
Yeah, it should be about 160% this year.
That is a lot. That's crazy. That is, wow.
Yeah, but it's manageable. I mean, you have also high devaluation versus the dollar. So you have inflation, and then you have devaluation, you have inflation, devaluation. So it really depends where you are in the economic cycle. I mean, when I worked for Veladero, that was at the time a 1 million ounce gold producer in San Juan. After a repayment of the construction loan of about 458 million, we brought $2 billion out of Argentina. So it's possible through several financial crises, we have been able to manage that asset very, very well. So I think that what is important there is to know which doors to knock. Yeah? And a significant amount of resilience is required to be successful in Argentina.
Interesting. So now that you've had such high inflation, how are your input costs compared to like the United States, let's say?
So I would say the biggest cost driver is that a lot of your costs, they are in real US dollar terms. And your currency, if you're a producer, you get the official FX rate. There's a big spread between the official rate and the parallel rate. Since we are financed mostly in Argentine pesos in Argentina by one of our partners, we don't have to deal with that problem as we spend most of our money in pesos.
Okay, makes sense. So based on the stage you're at, what is your ideal, let's say, partner or person investor?
So we have at the moment we have 2 strategic partners. Ownership is about 52% McEwen Mining, then 14.2% Rio Tinto through their new technology arm, 14.2% Stellantis. Stellantis is a car manufacturer. It's the 4th biggest car manufacturer in the world. It's the biggest one in Argentina, produces about 180,000 cars, and there's 28,000 people depending on them between own and contractors, and produce in Buenos Aires and in Córdoba. So for them, it was an ideal investment target, securing copper supply going forward, having a destination for the peso balances that are created in the operations in Argentina. And another important factor was we have an aligned vision in terms of environmental footprint and carbon neutrality. Stellantis wants to be carbon neutral by 2038. We have adopted the same target. So we look for investors that are in for the long term and that share our vision of an environmentally responsible mine that changes paradigms.
Interesting. What would be the shareholder mix as of today?
So at the moment we are financed into next year. We just published our PA in June, the scoping study in June this year. We filed for our environmental permit for construction and operation in April this year, and we are currently full steam ahead with feasibility study work. We aim to finish the feasibility by 2025, beginning of 2025. We are financed currently into 2024. And that means we are looking how do we do the rest of the financing. One option could be existing partners that are already part, or in parallel we prep up for an IPO. The problem with an IPO is we only do that when the market is there. We don't want to undersell our company going into a market that will not support the valuation that we expect.
Okay, so that's one opportunity for funding. What other funding sources are you open to?
At the moment, we're not looking into any other funding opportunities. I think that some companies are looking into streams, royalties, and I think it's not the time to do that. There's maybe a time when we are closer to construction or when we are constructing. At the moment, we're looking for strategic investors that are in for the long term and want to participate in building a mine that's different, that will produce 175,000 tons of copper cathodes per year for 27 years.
Excellent. That's a lot of copper.
That's a lot of copper, yeah.
Especially now, copper is now a reserve. Just a few months ago in the U.S., copper's been readdressed.
Classified as critical minerals.
Critical mineral, yeah.
Yeah, there are people, Robert Friedland said that copper is a matter of national security. And I agree with that. I think that it's important for countries to realize that everything we do in today's life, from building a house to using the technology we have here, uses copper. The green energy transition, depending on who you believe in terms of forecast, some say that we need, by 2050, we need about 68 million tons of copper per year. At the moment, we consume about 25 million tons. So 43 million tons more. There are people that say that by 2050, we need twice the amount of copper than all the copper that has been produced to date.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was with falling rates worldwide, with more difficulties in permitting, with more difficulties in host governments. So it will be a very tough challenge to get all the copper we need to build a greener, more sustainable future.
That's very interesting. That's a lot of copper.
That's a lot of copper, yeah.
Okay, so let's get into some more investor interests.
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest investor pushback you get nowadays?
I think that the Argentina risk, and I think that a big part of overcoming that hurdle is knowing that the presidential candidates, there are presidential elections in Argentina. The three presidential candidates, Milei, Bullrich, and Massa, they all have mining as a building block for progress, growth, and development of Argentina. So it's a different flavor depending on the party, but all of them see mining as vital and important, which wasn't the case 10, 12 years ago. So there was a tectonic shift in terms of acceptance for mining in Argentina. And there are lots of companies that invest in lithium. Lithium is, at the moment, the investment destination in Argentina. So Salta, Jujuy sees a lot of investment in lithium projects.
Interesting. Is it similar to the U.S., a 4-year term, or how does it?
Yeah, it's a 4-year term, yeah.
Okay. That would start in 2024? Or?
Yes. So we have elections in October, potential runoff afterwards, and then the new government will take over at the beginning of next year.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So sounds like you have, let's get into the runway, how much capital is available, and how many months left.
So at the end of last quarter, so in June we had a cash on hand of about $109 million at the official FX rate, because a majority of our capital is in Argentina. We proactively manage our treasury investing in Argentina because we spend also in Argentina. We have a runway of we can get into second quarter of next year. So by that time, we need to have private placement secured, or we have done the IPO.
Okay, excellent. What? Give me some basic timelines that you think is best case, worst case.
So I think that a reasonable time frame for the environmental permits approval could be a year. Yeah. So sometime in 2024, maybe June or so, that would be a reasonable time frame. Feasibility. So being able to make an investment decision, construction decision, would be beginning of 2025. Then in 2025, you do detailed engineering, because heap leaching is very well known in San Juan in Argentina. SXEW plants you can pretty much buy off the shelf, as an acid plant as well. We think that we should be able to start constructing activities, so energy line and so forth in 2026. Do the construction, then the removal of the overburden in 2028, ramping up production in 2029, and starting full-scale commercial production by the end of 2029, beginning of 2030.
Okay, excellent. Sounds like a good timeline.
Yeah, it's pretty much Formula One.
You got to. We need the copper.
Yeah.
What kind of landscape do you have? Let's say producer decides to come in. If it's not you guys, what kind of infrastructure and access do you have in terms of?
So that's actually a very good question, because we believe from the beginning that we need to have different access opportunities. Yeah? I mean, we are in the Andes. Our project is between 3,200 and 3,600 meter high. That's a height where people can still operate quite normally. But to get to site, we have one road that has two passes going over 4,000 meters. But we have another access road, a little bit longer, that only goes to 3,400 meters. So two totally different access roads. As infrastructure, we about 70 kilometers straight line from a 500 kV line, currently operated 132, and a provincial highway. So we have the luck that our project is closely or close by to provincial infrastructure. We have signed an agreement with YPF. YPF is the mostly state-owned oil and gas company in Argentina. They are going to do the detailed engineering and delivering 100% renewable energy for our project at very competitive prices.
Okay, excellent. So let's say the timeline works and you're a few years down the road, and things are going great. What are your future opportunities for mergers, exits, partners?
I think at the moment, Elder Creek, the earlier exploration play, it's actually quite good that we optioned this to 𝐕𝐢𝐜𝐴𝐷𝐼𝐼𝐼𝐜𝐼, to Chemical Exploration. They have the option on asset level to earn in 60% by spending $18 million over 7 years. They just completed the first set of holes. We know that we have copper there. We just don't know the extent. So that means that Chemical is taking care of Elder Creek, and we can focus on the development and pushing forward the value for Los Azules. Now, we always look at opportunities. If there's something coming up, we evaluate. But our focus at the moment is on really driving value for Los Azules. I mean, our first financing round, when we started, we had an implied valuation of $257 million. Yeah. Then we did another round with Rio Tinto and with Stellantis, who came in at 90% higher price than our first round. Yeah. And we had a valuation of $550 million implied. Yeah. So we're looking forward and driving that valuation, driving shareholder value, and accrete value for McEwen Mining shareholders as well.
Those are some big numbers. So it sounds like some great opportunities. How's the stock price doing?
So stock price, when you see that, we have outperformed GDX, GDXJ, Nasdaq, and a couple of other indices in the last 12 months. McEwen Mining in the past has seen a little bit of bad luck, fires, floods, COVID, and so forth. But since we really focused on the copper story, the share price this year was doing well.
Okay, excellent. So let's say we're in a recession. What are your concerns in the next few years if things get worse, and how conservative would you guys get, or speculative, based on that?
So we have a C1 cost of $1.07 per pound of copper. We have a cash cost of $1.64 per bond of copper according to our PEA. We have a capex need of 2.5 billion, sustaining capex of 2.2, and an NPV of 2.7 with an IRR of 21.2%. So that's a very, very robust PEA that can go through down cycles and still be very attractive for investors because of our short payback period of 3.2 years. Now, if copper goes down, let's say from the $3.75 to $3, this is still a very attractive project, even if it goes to $2.50.
Plenty of margin.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of margin.
And the good thing is we only go through about 1/3 of our resource base in the PEA. The 27-year life of mine is built on supergene leaching. Yeah, but with Rio Tinto's new technology, we may be able to exploit the primary mineralization that is below the supergene and add 13 plus years to life of mine, more than $1.1 billion on as additional NPV. So this can be, with additional exploration, we have good exploration results. This can be a multi-generational mine.
Interesting. Wow. Would you say copper is more recession-proof because it's more an industrial metal than definitely gold, maybe silver? What would you say?
No, I would say copper is the bellwether metal. I think that there's a lot of copper needed for the green energy transition, but still there's a significant need for copper in China. Yeah, just progress and development in China. So a lot of the copper price development will depend on China. And we hope that this will pick up. And then in parallel, we will see the demand not only for the cars itself. An EV needs about 40 kilos more than a conventional ICE engine-driven car. And we produce about 80 to 100 million cars per year. So just for the cars, we need about 4 million tons of copper per year if you want to have 100% EVs. Chile produces 5.6 million tons of copper per year. So you need a little bit less than Chile just for the car demand. Not talking about all the upgrades on the energy grid, windmills, solar parks, hydro dams. So there's a huge amount of work and copper that is required to be in a greener, more sustainable world in the future.
Interesting. Excellent, Michael. Would you like to summarize in closing?
I think we have a great story when it comes to McEwen Copper. We have a mine that is very robust, has a very good PEA. We have assembled a team that has in-country experience, that is able to manage the ups and downs in Argentina. We built a mine for the future, yeah, with regenerative principles going through from PEA over to the feasibility study. And we have 2 strategic partners already on board that voiced interest in future financing. So I think that with all of these components together, it's a great story.
Excellent, Michael. I'm ready to write a check. Thank you. And how does somebody stay in touch? Go to the website, jump on the newsletter, or what?
So our contact information is on the McEwen Mining website. I can be reached at mmeding@mcewenmining.com.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael.
Sure, with pleasure.